This track is a lovely piece of guitar to play, and there's a couple of versions of it out there. There's obviously the studio single version, and there's also the unplugged version. Now, we've decided to work from the unplugged version. It's a little more manageable for you to play in terms of getting through it from start to finish, because there's on the original there's a lot of other bits and bobs going on. Also, trying to be really authentic, playing it on a nylon strung guitar as opposed to a steel strung acoustic, but a steel strung acoustic will work just as well. Just got a little bit of a more mellow tone really, and I'm playing this completely fingerstyle, but you could play it with pick and fingers if you wanted to. Anyway, I'm going to play through the introduction for you, and then we'll break it down and take a look. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so the introduction kicks off with an open E to a second fret. We then hold an A chord. I'm holding that with one finger across the second fret. Play the A, the G string. There's a little sus back to major pull off. So all you're doing there is adding your second finger onto the third fret, hammering on, pulling back off to the second fret. That's on the B string. Then we play the A note. Then we have this E chord, which is an inversion of the E, and I'm holding the 4th fret of the bottom E, 4th fret G, and 5th fret B. But you can also hold the 2nd fret of the D string, just in case, because if you hit that string without your finger on it, it's going to sound pretty nasty. So at least then, if you do strike the D string, then it's still a note that's relevant to the chord. So we now drop down to an F sharp minor. Now for that F sharp minor, I'm playing the 2nd fret of the bottom E, 2nd fret G and B. And you can see I'm pedaling between the root and the chord. Now the E. Okay, so that's, I suppose you could class that as an A chord with an E in the bass. So far. Okay, so the next chord is a D over F sharp. So it's a D chord with the F sharp in the bass. For that, I just simply take the F sharp minor and raise my little finger up a semitone. So you're playing 2 on the bottom E, 2 on the G, 3 on the B, and fragmenting that. Now take your 2nd finger away. So you get, I'd probably look at that as being an E7 with a sus4. You could also look at it as being a D chord over E. It depends on where you take the root note from. I wouldn't, pay too much attention to that. I like the fact that I look at it as an E7 sus4 because it resolves back down to the major by dropping the 4 down to the 3rd, the 4th to the major 3rd. So that would be 2nd fret G, 4th fret B, and then 1st fret G, and then the 3rd fret of the B, and then we're back to the A. Okay, let's take a look at the first section of the verse, and I'll play it through for you, and then we break it down. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we kick things off with the same opening line that we saw in the introduction. So the little fill on the bottom E, A, sus, E over G sharp to F sharp minor. Then we have this new little additional fill, which is, okay, for that we're sliding 5 up to 7 and then back down to 5 on the top 2 strings. And then 4 on the G and 5 on the B. Slide that up a whole tone to 7 and 6. Back down, and then 2 on the G and B, and then 4 on the G and 5 on the B, so slowly. Okay, so in context. We then have a D over F sharp, then the E over A. Now this really nice little figure here, we're playing open E with the 1st fret of the G and open B, obviously pedaling between them. Then 2nd fret G and B, and then 3rd fret B and 4th fret G, so we get shift, pedaling in between with the open E string, so slowly. Now back to the A figure. Now obviously playing the E over G sharp, F sharp minor. Okay, so for the next figure, we're going to play a series of 6ths, so that's 2 on the G and on the top E, and then 4 on the same 2 strings, and then 5 on the top E, 6 on the G, so that's back down, so 2, 4, 5 and 6, 4, 2, and then finish off with 1 on the 3rd string on the G and open top E, so that's going. Now D over F sharp, the E over A, and then our little moving figure again. So far we have this. Okay, now we're going to take a look at the next section, which I suppose is the like the bridge. There's not really a chorus in this track, so I'm going to play through it for you first, and then we'll take a look. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we started off with an F sharp minor chord, so again, to abbreviate it, instead of holding that full bar chord shape, I'm playing just the top 3 strings at the 2nd fret and then the bottom string actually with my thumb. Again, pedaling between the root notes and the higher register strings. Then we hold like a D chord shape which is actually, I suppose, the top half of that C shape. It's a C sharp chord, but then we're putting F in the bass of it. Okay, so from the F sharp minor. Okay, the next chord after that is an A7th, but we're only playing the open G, 2nd fret B, open top E with the open low E. Okay, now we have an F sharp 7th, which is 2nd fret bottom E, 2nd fret D, 3rd fret G. Then our E over G sharp, but we're only playing 4th fret E, 2nd fret D, 4th fret G, move that up a whole tone. B minor 7th, that's 2nd fret of the A string, and 2nd fret G, 3rd fret B. Now we have our, I suppose, yeah, I like calling that an E7 sus4, so I'm going to stick with that. Basically, take the top half of your B minor 7th and just play an open E in the bass. Now back to the intro. Little sliding figure. D over F sharp. Then we have our E7 sus4 to E, and then back to A. Then we've got this little lick, which is the kind of A major scale run there. 2 to 4 on the D, 2, 4 on the G, 2, 3, 2 on the B, 4, 2 on the G, and then back to 4 on the D. Okay, then we go back and we start the next verse, our second verse. So I'm going to play through it for you up to the second time bar ending. So it's a slightly different ending to this verse. 1, 2, 3, 4, and... Okay, so after our little sliding figure, we then play the D over F sharp, and then our E7 sus4, and then instead of playing A with the little run that we just played, we're just going to simply play the A chord. And then we have a little climb, open A to 2nd fret A, which then leads us into our middle 8 section. Okay, let's take a look at our middle section. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and... Okay, more chord fragments going on there. Start off with the C major chord, then G over B, which is 2nd fret A, open G, 3rd fret B, 3rd fret top E, A minor, only really playing the A and the G and the B strings, D over F sharp, G, D over F sharp, and then we have this, there's an E chord here, which is quite an interesting voicing. It's like an E 7th chord. You're playing open E, 4th fret of the G string and 3rd fret of the B. So we're going G, D over F sharp, then there's that E 7th chord, and then we've got a D over F sharp, and then G. Back to C, B over, or G over B, sorry, A minor, D over F sharp, G, D over F sharp, and then our little climbing figure on the G and the B strings that we've already seen. Okay, so once again, quite a straightforward passage. Just make sure that you know, you're fragmenting the chords and keeping that rhythm going. Okay, now we've got a little short guitar solo to take a look at, and I'm going to play you the first section from it, and then we'll break it down. Here we go. 2, 3, 4, and 1. Three, 4, 1. Okay, starts off with this little figure, 9, 10, 9 on the top E, and 10 on the B, and then slide 12 up to 14, back to 12, and then 9, so. Okay, then we have this little 6th figure, which is 11 on the G and 10 on the top E. Now 9, slide down to 7, and then 6 on the G, 5 on the top E, and then 7 up to 9, and then twice on 7. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1. Okay, here's the next section from the guitar solo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. 2, 3, 4, 1. Okay, pretty much the same idea, just some little rhythmic variations there. So we do the same little 9, 10, 9, and then 10 on the B. But instead of like that, it's 1. Pretty much straight away. So we're sliding 12 up to 14, down to 12, then down to 9, sorry, slide into that 9. And then the second time, you hear the difference between the two figures. The next lick, we slide in on beat 2 onto 11 on the G string, play 10 on the top, so 1, 2, and then 9, 7, 5, slide 7 up to 9, and then back to 7. So here's the whole solo together. 3, 4, and 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Okay, the solo section is followed by another B section, which is exactly the same as the last one. Remember, the B section was that section, okay? After that, we have another verse, okay, just a straight verse minus the B section. So after that, we lead into the coda, which we're going to take a look at now. So I'm going to come out of the verse for you at a suitable point, and then we'll break it down. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we came in from the that little E7 sus4 chord, then into F sharp minor, then E over A, B minor 7th, E7 sus4 again, back round. Now a little slide figure. D over F sharp. E7 sus4 to E. And then we literally just play the A chord. And as we arpeggiate through the A chord, play the sus4. Little hammer on and pull off. 4 and 2 on the G, slide. 4 up to 6 on the G, 5 on the B, 7 on the D, and 5 on the top E. So just one more time. Okay, there's quite a lot for you to get through. It's quite a tricky track to play as well, especially if you're like me and you're a bit ham-fisted with the acoustic. I kind of missed my pick a little bit. But just remember, they're basic chords. All you've really got to work on is the fragmenting of them. And just make sure you keep that bass pedal tone idea going between the bass and the top of the chord. Okay, that concludes Tears in Heaven.